Homeowners in Auguston are going to be shocked by what the latest numbers actually reveal. The general Abbotsford detached market statistics and the stats for the East Abbotsford market are not telling the full story about what's happening in your neighborhood. In today's video, I'm going to break down the latest statistics for your neighborhood and compare them to the last 3 months. This is important because Auguston differs and moves differently from the other areas of East Abbey. And if you don't understand these trends, you could make a mistake when deciding to sell, hold, or waiting until next spring. Welcome to my channel. My name is Dhindsa and I'm an Abbotsford Realtor. My only ask is if you find today's content valuable, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe button. If you want to book a meeting with my team and I, all you have to do is click the first link in the description below. Let's start here. For the month of September, the sales to active ratio for your neighborhood was a seller's market with the sales to active ratio of 25%. This was actually higher when comparing it to East Abbotsford. In the month of September, the East Abbotsford detached market was representing a balanced market. In August, it was around 17% in balanced territory. And in July, again, it was at 25%. One of the interesting things about Auguston is if you zoom out beginning of the year, for a majority of the year, the Auguston detached market has been in a seller's market. So what this is telling me is quality detached homes that are listed at market value, show well, are selling, and they remain highly desirable for those folks that are buying their first detached home or those folks that are relocating here from the lower mainland. And one of the main attractions obviously is the elementary school, Auguston Elementary. The other reasons are it's very family and kid friendly. In January, the sales to active ratio was at 42.9%. In February, it was around 28.6%. In March, it was at 22%. For May, it was around 30%. For July, again, it was at 25%. Next, let's look at months of inventory. So right now in September, the months of inventory is around 5%. That means 1 out of 5 homes are selling, 4 out of 5 are not selling. In August, it was around 5.4. And in July, again, it was around 5.4. So if you're looking at the last 3 months, there hasn't been much change. Let's look at the average sale price. In September, the average sale price was around $1.1 million. In August, it dipped to $1,033,000. And in July, again, it was around $1.1 million. Next, let's look at sales. There were 3 sales in September, 2 in August, and 3 in September. So when we're looking at sales for the last 3 months, it's clear that sale activity has been consistent around 3 sales per month. Next, let's look at days on market. Days on market for a quality detached home here in September was around 30, up from the 19 days on market in August, and in July it was around 22 days on market. Next, let's look at active listings. Right now, there's 12 active listings for quality detached homes in the neighborhood. There were 12 listings in August and 14 in June. Next, let's look at new listings. There were 4 new listings in September and 3 in August, and in July, there was 7. I want to go back to the sales to active ratio here for August. The main reason why the detached market entered balanced territory in August is because a lot of sellers and buyers are actually away on the summer holidays. So the 2 busiest markets in real estate are the spring and the fall market. Next, let's look at this interesting stat, which is median percent of original price. This statistic tells us that detached homes are selling 95% within the original list price. It was around 98% in August, and in July it was 97%. So what this means, if you have a home that's listed at market value, it's turnkey, it's gonna sell usually between 95% of your original list price. If you want to look at price per square feet, in September it was around $383, and in August it was around $408, and in July it was $372. When you're looking at the statistics for Auguston and comparing them to the general Abbotsford detached market or even the East Abbotsford detached market, it's clear that the statistics for your area tell a different story. For a majority of the year, the Auguston detached market has been in seller's territory. If you're thinking about listing your home this fall, or are curious about how the listing process works, you need to watch the next video because I'm going to give you a complete checklist of how the listing process works so you have all the information to make an informed decision. Let me know your thoughts below about the latest statistics for the month of September. I'm Dhindsa and I'll see you next week.